In the occupied Kherson region of Ukraine's Nizhny Surhoze village, signs of intense military activity are evident. Russian fortifications have emerged in the fields, marking the nation's anticipation of a potential Ukrainian counter-offensive. While Kiev focuses on training its troops to employ Western weaponry, Russia has been busy constructing some of the most elaborate defensive lines witnessed in decades. However, military analysts remain skeptical about the effectiveness of these defenses, according to Western intelligence reports. Through a thorough analysis of satellite images and videos from Russian media, the Wall Street Journal has delved into Moscow's preparations and their implications for Ukraine. Since the invasion began, Russia has embarked on extensive digging along the 900-mile front line, extending even onto its own territory. The majority of this work has been concentrated in the occupied regions of Zaporizhia and Kherson. British intelligence reports suggest that Russia has built approximately 75 miles of defensive lines, primarily in areas where they anticipate potential Ukrainian attacks. Many Western analysts concur that these territories are likely to be the main targets of Ukraine's counter-offensive. Let us examine the nature of the defensive structures Russia has been constructing. Satellite images reveal the presence of anti-tank ditches, the first layer of defense. These obstacles are deliberately constructed to be too wide for tanks to cross, thus limiting the enemy's ability to maneuver and channeling their forces into vulnerable areas. Rows of concrete blocks, known as dragon's teeth, comprise the second line of defense. These formidable barriers make it challenging for heavy vehicles to pass through. The third line consists of trenches, which are the most common and easily constructed defensive works. Russian forces have dug numerous trenches along roads, junctions, bridges, and even the beaches of Crimea. Most of these trenches follow a zigzag or angular pattern, which not only restricts sight lines for the enemy but also provides additional protection from side-fired shell fragments. Military analysts speculate that Ukrainian forces may encounter additional traps, including hidden landmines, between these defensive lines. Both the Ukrainian and Russian ministries of defense declined to comment on the significance of Moscow's fortification efforts. Some military experts suggest that these defensive systems do not pose a major threat to the Ukrainians. They argue that the effectiveness of these fortifications would depend on the number of Russian troops defending them. If Ukraine were to attack defensive lines that are inadequately protected, the experts believe that the Ukrainian forces, equipped with Western Challenger and Leopard battle tanks, would be able to bypass the obstacles. Ultimately, gathering intelligence on the positioning of Russian troops will be crucial to Ukraine's counter-offensive strategy. The ability to force Russia to concentrate troops in the wrong areas and expose their defensive lines will be a key factor. Foreign analysts assert that success in Ukraine's efforts hinges on accurately assessing the positioning of Russian forces and exploiting any weaknesses in their defensive network. The outcome of this conflict will greatly depend on strategic maneuvering, intelligence, and the adaptability of both sides in a battle marked by extensive fortifications and escalating tensions.